Well, that early Friday morning rain has given way to a partly cloudy, soupy Friday here at Gulfstream Park with that live scenic from our clubhouse tour. And we get ready to run 9 races here on the afternoon. As you can see, upper right-hand corner, no turf racing on this sloppy and sealed Friday program at Gulfstream Park. And kind of a melancholic feel. This date is always a little bit poignant, to say the least, as Jason Blewett and Ron Nicoletti catch up with you on this Friday, September the 11th. But no sloppy track blues today, Ronnie, and we certainly take some time here at the beginning, the top of the broadcast here on Gulfstream Park today, and remember many of the men and women that are our heroes, and we salute them here on this September the 11th.
Yeah, just always just a sad day. It's still almost too unbelievable to believe, and God bless them all.
Yeah, absolutely. Played Little League with a guy by the name of Keith Fairbairn, who was born and raised in Floral Park like I was. He was an EMT and unfortunately lost his life back on September the 11th, 2001. So we take a moment and then some to remember the heroes and the fallen. And we move forward here, and just a little bit of housekeeping in addition to just the calendar date here on the show. The Stronach 5 with the cancellation out at Golden Gate Fields with the wildfires in California, both southern and northern. There's no Stronach 5 on the afternoon. And I know I could speak for you, Ronnie, saying just sending a lot of our friends and people that work in the industry and certainly fans out there of the game and just everybody the best vibes. We're thinking of everybody both in southern and northern Cali.
Yeah, boy, it looks, I saw some pictures from out there. It's just amazing. The sky looks like it's red, so you got to be careful out there and just stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So no Stronach 5 here on this September the 11th. Now, we will shift gears. A little tough to do so, but we got some business to take care of. And as you saw from that live shot, and here's a little bit of a different vista from the backstretch run. It's a partly cloudy day on this September the 11th at Gulfstream Park, but summer meet continues. We've got, 2 weeks and change left before we pack up and move over to Gulfstream Park West, and I am going to attack a sloppy sealed early pick 5. This is a main track, however, that does dry out rapidly. And assuming we don't get any more rain, I would imagine we'll be fast before no time whatsoever. Now, I opted to go for $24 total and don't have a single here in the first. And at the last second, I trimmed the early favorite in the one Humor Me Dixie off the ticket. And I am clearly putting my eggs in the basket of the 2 rematching fillies from back on August the 20th, including the 5, my top pick, Katama Moonlight, and I'm just hoping the fact that they seem like the truest dirt horses, hopefully that's good enough to survive this opening leg. 3 deep in the second, a race. Boy, I didn't really love anybody that's run before and sided with the Ralph Nixa firster by Algorithms, who's bred to love and off track, the number 4, the Method. But 3 deep there. I've got a 2-horse spread in the subsequent legs, races 3 through 5. And I know, Ronnie, I had asked you after I completed my work in an off-the-turf first race who you liked, and we both landed on the Safi filly by Malibu Moon. And I think, I didn't ask you why you liked her, but I'm assuming it's probably the same obvious reasons I like her in the spot, the 5, Katama Moonlight. She's got the speed, but I think more importantly, you're really banking on just a better, stronger, fitter, tighter effort than her return to the races back on August 20th when she was a big favorite off a trainer change and just got a little tired. She's supposed to move forward with that effort under her belt.
Yeah, with this one moved to the main trap, that's the exact reason I went. Your second time for Sappy, set the pace, as you mentioned, weekend to finish 4th in that particular race. So I thought that was the one to beat. I know the 14 Contra Rosie is on the ticket, but I did use Humor Me Dixie in second, who's turning back to the mile on the dirt vibe for the lead. It was just a speed play. She ran well on a sloppy track a couple of starts back from Mark Cassie.
Now, the second, a scheduled dirt race at 7, comes up with the 2-year-old $32,000 to $30,000 claiming race, and you and I both playing it pretty safe here, taking the 4, the Method, who I had noted briefly in my early pick 5 summation. This is a good spot, save for the fact winning at 7 first out is a pretty difficult thing to do. I got to think the 4, the Method for Ralph and Amisale is live in this spot, and being by Algorithms, who love that whole Ava Knows the Code family with him, Justin Phillip, Keat Entry was in the family. That is a slop mud-loving lineage, if there ever was one. And then you've got Medalist as the dam. Of the ones that have run, I mean, the 5 Compromiso didn't like the slop here a few days ago in late August, yet ran well 2 and 3 back. He, excuse me, looks best, I thought, of the ones that have raced already.
Yeah, I thought the same thing with the Method. The Gelded Son of Algorithms debuting for Ralph. The barn has been really red hot with their freshman runners, and they got equally hot MCL Jaramillo in the saddle today. Compromiso didn't run well on the off track, and he ain't no saint. A Gelded Son of Shanghai Bobby debuting for for Jose Pinchin. I just like the morning work tab. Maybe we can grab a share, but I was looking for first-time starters in that spot. I didn't like the previous ones that have run in the past.
Well, you got the 2 from Algorithms with the 4 the Method and the 5 Compromiso. We're off the turf for the third. We'll go 5 here over the main track in a race that on paper looks like a 2-horse race to my eyes for a wide margin. I mean, you obviously have a switch hitter, a 2-way player in the 9 Hero Tiger who can turf, synth. In fact, maybe a 3-way player. This horse can synth, turf, and dirt. And his dirt races 2 and 3 back were pretty solid. But, I mean, the clear favorite here, the 11, Why Are You Awesome, who's just one of these hard-nosed, really tough 9-year-olds who's a 65 race veteran. He's going to be a very big favorite in this race as an MTO, and he looks really good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had those three solid efforts, on the turf, but he entered for the main track. He runs well on every surface. Looks like the one to beat, the 9 Hero Tiger for all the reasons you mentioned. Then Kobe 52, drop it to the 16 level, set the pace against cheaper in there. Maybe this one, got the dirt is absolutely a question with that
He's
horse.
got speed, though.
Yeah,
I mean, if he likes the dirt, I think the real appeal of him, if you're a little maybe shaky. I don't know how you could entirely feel that way, the way this race shapes up on paper with the 9 Hero Tiger and especially the 11 Why Are You Awesome. But if you want the inside speed, it's probably going to be Kobe 52.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know if we can handle the dirt, and it just looks like the 11, this is the spot they wanted to run on the main track, and that's what they're getting to do this afternoon.
No, he's a 3 to 5 shot there to close things down in the first segment of this Friday edition of Gulfstream Today. We're back with the Rainbow with the big guarantee after this.
In the 2-path. Round off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
And we are back. Friendly reminder, although the Stradic 5 canceled on this September the 11th, we do have a $350,000 guaranteed cushion, a guaranteed threshold waiting for you in our 20-cent Jackpot Rainbow 6. That begins in race number 4. And just thinking, Ronnie, capping the first segment of the broadcast and talking about Why Are You Awesome, I'm reminded of a tough old gray horse and Florida-bred gray horse that won here yesterday in the second race, in my point exactly. And it's good. We got a number of those seniors, those old timers who still hit that is pretty hard, and it's always a good time watching them run.
Yeah, exactly, and they run, like we always the old joke, they can run on nails. They just run when it was off track. Some of them turf, as you said, synth. It doesn't really matter. They're just hard knocking campaigners. With that said, I got a $43.20 ticket today, and I singled. We'll talk about the 8 horse in a moment, but I went 3 deep in here with my crazy ex-girlfriend. Trini Girls and Effie Meister. Wanted some coverage in there. Race number 5, the 5, the 9, and the 14. That was one of the races taken off the turf. I think Cappy Hour might be the best. Race number 6 today, I really like Big Sky Montana making its second start. Got a stat for Kenny McPeak, but I used Congrats again. In race number 7, I wanted some coverage. So that was just, Jason and I, you talked about this race. I needed some coverage, and I just could not figure it out with the move to the main track. Trev, 6-time winner on an off track, that, just loves this, been entered numerous times as a main track only, so this horse is ready. And then 3 deep in the final race with the 2, the 5, and the 6, the 2 being Blast a Rocket, and I hope I blast the ticket and get some money today.
Yeah, I hope you connect here on this 9-race Friday, my friend. And talking about the 9-year-old, why are you awesome? He is not the senior player on today's card. That distinction belongs to your single, the 10-year-old Trev, who Georgina Baxter just really does an excellent job with those older geldings, many of which have quite a few miles on the odometer, and she just seems to take care of those horses. And no, he is without a doubt the star player in that featured Friday 8th race, and your single, of course, in the Rainbow 6. Now, that's a Rainbow that begins in the 4th at 6.5 furlongs, a $40,000 to $35,000 3-and-up filly and mare maiden claimer. I'm surprised you didn't use the 3 Antigone in this race, who's a trainer change coming in from the West Coast to Saffie, who has got Edgard, who's been training regularly up at Palm Meadows, and not only his first time Sappy off a layoff, I felt as though didn't run great, but far from poor in this one's only dirt debut, or at least dirt race to date, which fell back on Halloween right around the Breeders' Cup last autumn out at Santa Anita Park. I like Antigone as the new Sappy face with Edgard in this upcoming 4th.
Yeah, I just went a little different way in there. I just maybe wanted to watch a race, but there's always a case that I missed the horse. But I doubt if I missed it with seeing the connections in there, just didn't like it. I did go with my crazy ex-girlfriend, the number 7 you have further down your ticket, who's dropping to the 35 level, stretching out to 6.5. Dueled for the lead in the slop and finished second against those 50s, going 6 furlongs. Louis Ramirez ready for this task. Got a bullet half-mile drill and 47 flat. Trini Girls on my ticket with Effie Meister, but I'm going to go back and revisit that number 3, and I'm glad this horse is in the 4th race because you can watch the board before you put your Rainbow 6 ticket
Yeah,
together.
I'd imagine she's going to get bet, and look, it happens. You sometimes skip over horses. I did it in yesterday's first, and you were on the winner, Mo Fritz's, who got bet, and Perfect Trip Aside got the money and paid over $8. So, no, I think Antigone is a major player in this race, and I like the speed of the 5 Effie Meister. I don't know what to make of David Fox putting this Bodemeister filly back on the dirt, because it does feel as though her turf races to date, now she's had more chances on the grass, it feels and looks like her turf races have been significantly better than her dirt efforts, but I got a lot of confidence in Dave, and that horse does have some early speed in the 4th. Now, we'll close down and cash out the early 5 with Friday's 5th. We'll go a mile on the main here. Again, the mile and a 16th races revert back, at least mile and a 16th turf races. If they get moved to the main, revert back to 1 mile. And I like the 2 Tufa. It seems like this horse, as we start the late pick 5, Tufa is obviously one of 2 that I have here, along with the outside posted number 14, Remember the Main. It looks like Tufa can be a little bit thick on off tracks, but he does have some dirt races that I think in a field like this look pretty solid in hindsight. Congrats again, to me, is the yardstick in the 6th race, and assuming no one can really step forward or steps forward in that spot, I think that's a good spot for Mike Yates' horse. I also used the Nyquist second-time starter for Ken Sweezy in the 6 Slashing, who looked a little bit interesting. Now, I didn't single Trev, although he is unequivocally the horse to beat in the feature. I'm thinking that Marcio Navarro horse in the 3 Nicholas Rose can make some noise there, Ronnie. I saw you had him second, and he's my price play on the day. It just, again, looked and felt just a few days ago in late August on the 30th. We saw, compared to his first start here against Crosscourt last January, we saw a completely different horse, way quicker, early speed, way more professional. And I thought he was quite good outrunning a 1-5 shot who looked unbeatable on paper, an easy day.
Yeah, so we'll see. Now, Nicholas Rose is, as you mentioned, my second choice in there with September 10. But I had to get a single. When I saw 6 times a winner on an off track, what we're dealing today. And Trev, as I mentioned, the reason was because this horse has been entered 3 or 4 times as main track only. So I know this horse wants to run today. So we'll see if it can help my ticket out.
Now, Toof, I'm hoping, runs today. He's got some dirt races going back. 80 buyer performance here right before Christmas last December. Look at his effort in the middle of May, right around Preakness time in 2019. Assuming he is able to come off a little bit of a layoff for trainer Ruben Gracito, who's been doing a good job with the few horses that he starts here, including Monforte, who's turned into just an absolute flamethrower on the turf. I think this is a good spot for the 2 Tufa. Going to put him over the 2 that you have in your exacta there. You got the speed of the 9 Cappy Hour and the 14 Remember the Main.
Yeah, Remember the Main has run well on and off track in the past. And Cappy Hour, just a speed play for me. I'm thinking this horse goes to the lead. It'll be interesting to see how this main track plays this afternoon. Yeah, we're talking race number 5. No one in Gulfstream Park.
It'll be fast.
It'll be fast by then if we don't get any more rain. So it's hard to gauge in there. And Torres is tossing his hat in the ring against these main track only. He closed to be second at Colonial on the turf. I just thought he could maybe close out the try in that particular spot.
2-year-olds going a mile. If memory serves, I think this is the first 2-year-old colt race for the males going a mile. The fillies a few days ago, I think last weekend, either on Labor Day or Sunday, had their chance going 8 furlongs. So, I mean, the autumn season here at Gulfstream for the babies has pretty much arrived in earnest. And in looking at this 6th race field, like I was saying, I just feel the ones with experience, the 2 Congrats again. Now, granted, he's had more experience and way more chances than everybody in here. I mean, he's already 0 for a half a dozen. But it seems like not only race day experience, but the increase in distance has helped to bring out his best as he rides, I think, the 2 best performances of his career so far into this race for trainer Michael Yates. And I'm going to take him over the Nyquist second-time starter, who just didn't get bet, didn't really run, but maybe a different ball game today. Second out, stretching to a mile for Kent Sweezy with the 6 slashing. You like the McPeak colt by Cross Traffic out of a Johannesburg Dam in the 8 Big Sky Montana. And I know you pulled a good stat for Kenny, who's just never been a 2-year-old pop first out kind of guy.
Yeah, you know, this one's 20-1 on the morning line, so it's my long shot of the day. Big Sky Montana, son of Cross Traffic by Unbridled Song. Stretching out to the mile, bumped at the start, failed to get on track, and it's a 5 furlong career debut for Kenny. Here's that stat. 2-year-olds making their second start, going from a sprint to a route on the dirt. He's 9 for 22. That's 41%, 64% in the money. 382 is the return of investment, so I'm going to play the percentages.
I like that stat,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm going to play the percentages with Big Sky Montana at a bit of a price. Congrats again for all the reasons you mentioned. Then I went to the inside horse. Raison d'Hier is getting some karma changes today when he goes from turf to dirt, sprint to route, and wears blinkers. After finishing that, even for throwing the kitchen sink at that horse, maybe he runs well. You got him in third, too. But I like Big Sky Montana for a price this afternoon.
No, I got him 4th, capping my super, and then you've got Kathy's horse down inside, who I guess ran well enough first out behind a winning 3-5 wire-to-wire winner at that in Murray's Bar for trainer Wesley Ward. And in looking at that gelding on the rail, he does have a half-older sibling by Oxbow who has won a couple of times on the dirt, and I remember Raison d'Hier running for Bill Mott. He was a wise guy horse throughout his career. I don't think he ever really lived up to his pedigree, but that horse is bred for the dirt in the 6th for Kathy Ritvo. Now, the 7th, we're off the turf. We'll go 5 on the main. And I feel like my opinion in this race didn't alter all that much after scratches came in, and the horses I would have preferred in the same order on turf, they're that 4-5-3 trifecta
I'm laughing
in this
because we're
box.
exactly the same.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm assuming, Ronnie, did you have to tweak this race at all with the switch to the main track?
No, the only thing I changed was the 4th horse, but the longer sitting on go after returning from that 10-month layoff to come within the neck of catching upset winner, Bright Venezuelan, that afternoon. And I just thought this one has run well. 3 starts, 2 wins on the fast main track. I'm praying for that. We'll try and make it 3 in a row for Carlos David. This one, 11 for 15 on the fast tracks, on the money on the fast track, and 2 for 3 in the money on the wet track. So this horse certainly looks good. Now that ran on the main track. I think the first when it was claimed by Carlos
Who are
David.
you talking about? The
I'm talking
5?
5, yeah, right.
Well, no, she's never won on the dirt before.
No, I was talking about Carlos David when he claimed he was second on the dirt, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
Yeah.
And I think that's the question at hand. I mean, clearly Carlos has improved her a great deal. I mean, she's been better than ever in her 2 races. For him, is she just a flat-out far better turf sprinter, though? That's going to be the deciding factor with her today.
Yeah, I just like the fact that when he claimed it was on the dirt and ran okay, so we'll put that one on my ticket. But and then the number 3 horse in third, that was a Sweet Maid. Sweetly Made.
Yeah, Sweetly Made, who's another horse in the mix for Ken Sweezy, and she's run fine on the dirt. That effort 2 back against Worth Avenue puts her right in the mix this afternoon with the Misael. Now, the featured 8th race for Florida Breds is a good one, and I think taking a page from the gals we saw about at this time in the afternoon, it'll be basically smack dab 24 hours with Gibberish, who was good for Safi and E5. This race unquestionably is led by the 10-year-old in Trev, who will go back to his last start and just show you how well he ran. And I had liked him. A lot of people liked him in this race. And he earned every inch of this victory vying outside. This was not a race where he got loose or basically sat in the pocket or outside behind a speed duel. I mean, he was up in the teeth with those 2 horses to his inside at this point, and he buried them. And, boy, you look at the work Georgina has put forth with this horse over the last about 2 years now. In late September of 18 was the first time she ever saddled this guy under her name, and she just seems to know when to push, when to pull back, and has done a marvelous job at campaigning him. He's just, again, minus being a 10-year-old, it's irrelevant because Father Time just hasn't been able to catch him. He is just hands down a deserving favorite.
Yeah, and if we do get more rain, which I hope we don't, then this one certainly moves another notch up on a fast track. But as you mentioned, your top pick, Nicholas Rose, is stepping up to face the winners, responding in the first race under the tutelage of Marcel Navarro with a really impressive victory against at the distance with Victor LeBron in the saddle today.
Yeah, I think he clearly gives up a lot of the intangibles in this race. I mean, he's just not a horse that has a lot of seasoning or experience, and he hasn't, quite simply, matched up against the kind of firepower he's going to meet, where you've got horses, I mean, even forgetting about Trev for a second, most of these horses have run a minimum of 15 to 20 times throughout their career, and he's not that kind of horse. But if he's the one that hasn't yet hit his ceiling, and judging from just how the 180 he essentially pulled in his debut for this barn back on August 30th. I'd like to think there's more to give with this gelding by Fort Larned, and I'll go back to him in this spot off a good-looking win, and he soundly ran away from a 1-5 favorite last time out, an easy day. I like Ralph's horse in the last. We'll wrap up the show here before turning things over to Pete Aiello up in the booth, and get your pencils ready because Pete's got quite a few scratches and changes for you on this No Turf Friday. But a good spot for the 2 Rocket Blast, who, as far as going a mile, I know his effort here going 8.5 furlongs right around what would have been Preakness time in the middle of May looks quite forgettable on paper, but you got to keep in mind, Ronnie, I mean, those were both his 2 dirt races to date were obviously against Special Weight Company, and that does not apply here as he runs in an off-the-turf maiden 20.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the tactical ability to be on the engine if he wants. He's a major part of the pace to say. Diligent in second, and Kid Lee, who's dropping for David Forks with Hector Barrios up. I think we got the logical 3 in the nightcap.
And certainly the big favorite on top. I think a clear and comfortable favorite in the number 2 Rocket Blast. As we do that, we'll go a couple of stories up. Yet again, Pete Aiello standing by with those Friday scratches and changes.